allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a few remarks before we get started. So I think it's important to recognize significant events, anniversaries, and individuals within our community when it's appropriate. And this month, the town of Ticonderoga would like to acknowledge the contributions of James Cawley in his Star Trek Original Series Set Tour, which celebrates its 10th anniversary this weekend. I'd like to have a resolution, if I can find it, a resolution to acknowledge the contributions of James Cawley to his hometown of Ticonderoga and proclaim Friday, August 15th through Sunday, August 17th, 2025 as Star Trek Original Series Set Tour Weekend in the town of Ticonderoga. Let me get the actual proclamation. James, if you come up, please. I think we have a lot of space for this. So anyway, let me read the proclamation. It says, whereas James Cawley, a native of Ticonderoga, after a successful career in the entertainment industry, appearing and working in well-known locations such as Caesars Windsor, Hollywood Casino, Gatlin Brothers, Mystic Lake Casino Hotel, Casino Rama Resort in Toronto, Atlantic Tropicana Casino and Resort, and Star Trek The Next Generation TV series, returned to his hometown of Ticonderoga and chased his childhood passions of Star Trek into a fan film enterprise, and turning those passions and fan film enterprise into a successful business. And whereas James began creating Star Trek sets in 1997, after receiving a copy of the original set blueprints from Star Trek, the original series costume designer William Ware Tice, and spent 15 years researching, crafting, and refining exact set replicas and exquisite detail alongside other dedicated fans and craftspeople. And whereas James demonstrated his ambition and drive early, reaching out to CBS executives to pitch a new and unique Star Trek sound set type business proposal, and eventually breathing life into a vacant 13,000 square foot facility in Ticonderoga's central downtown business district. And whereas Ticonderoga's Star Trek Original Series Set Tour has become known nationally and internationally as a museum-quality recreation of the 1960s Desilu Studios Stage 9 Star Trek Original Series sets, and whereas Star Trek Original Series Set Tour has become a major economic cornerstone in Ticonderoga's downtown business district, aiding in the creation of new economic prosperity and bringing thousands of visitors and tourists from across the United States and from around the world annually to Ticonderoga, thereby doubling the town's population multiple times each year for special events alone. And whereas on Labor Day weekend, September 4th through 6th, 2015, Star Trek Original Series Set Tour held its first Ticonderoga event as it was in transition to become licensed by CBS. It is now celebrating its 10th anniversary in Ticonderoga during its 2025 Ticonderoga Weekend event on August 15th through 17th. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Ticonderoga of the state of New York on this 14th day of August 2025 join with the members of the Ticonderoga community to acknowledge the contributions of James Cawley to his hometown of Ticonderoga and proclaim Friday, August 15 through Sunday, August 17, 2025 as Star Trek Original Series Set Tour Weekend in the town of Ticonderoga, New York, signed by my hand and sealed today, Mark Wright, Supervisor. Get a picture of you holding the flag.
He gets a whole weekend.
Yeah, a whole weekend. You know, we've never given a weekend.
Over this weekend.
Like 22 years ago, Jeff.
You get in front of the table for me.
So you get a weekend, you don't get us a key.
I don't get a key.
And can I get another one of you shaking hands? I was busy clapping.
Sure. Be great.
We're good?
All right, good. Congratulations.
Nice job, Jimmy.
Can I just yes or nay?
First of all, to Mark, I appreciate the fact that you have been our supervisor now for 2 full terms. I'm saddened that you won't be continuing on. I understand why, because I've been a party to that nonsense and hatred that has been thrown around. I respect the decision to retire, but you will be missed.
I appreciate that. Thank you very
The
much.
rest of the board members who have been here as long as I have, and seen, thank you. I know who supports me, and I appreciate it very, very much. And literally, it's because of you guys that I'm here. Just so you know that.
You got a busy weekend coming up.
I appreciate it.
Let's go, Jim.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
You go way back.
Yes, we do.
Have a good weekend.
And you.
Oh, there you go, Tanya.
My glasses are fogged.
Still works then, thank God.
All right.
All right, go ahead and strike that from the minutes, I'm not quite sure.
So, Shatner here this weekend?
I got one too, Tanya,
He's
so.
got some other celebrities though.
Okay.
Let's see, a little update on 108 Montcalm Street, Newberry Common sign is now in our downtown, illuminates the downtown area.
It illuminates it too.
Yeah, but not only fluorescent light, but with the light of positive progress. And so I want to the TRA NRDC partnership, I say thank you. And to the Ticonderoga Town Board, I say we did the right thing. The only thing we could do, and we are now seeing positive results resulting from that difficult decision. Next announcement, the TMSP event that was scheduled for August 22nd on Montcalm Street, where we're going to close the street, has been canceled. So I'll have a resolution coming up to rescind the original resolution. And tonight, I have a gentleman who would like to address the board, Mark Jacoby, regarding Brookwood. Mark, if you want to come up and give your information to the town board, and we'll anxiously hear what you have to say. We know that.
How long you got? I'm gonna give you packets just in case. We refer this to James. They don't need to be here. Sorry. All right.
Sir.
Is this homework?
That, for me, not you. Hopefully it's a record. Yeah. All right. If I get wrong with it, just go like this. So, we own Brooklyn. I'm gonna be pulled in here, a third of you.
Can I just interrupt you
Yeah.
just 1 second? We did not get a first, I motioned, but we did not do a,
Sorry. Unanimous second.
yeah,
Oh,
just a
yeah.
second. Aye, okay. Thank you, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Bring it on.
My name is Mark Jacoby, my wife Buffy and I are owners of Brookwood, and arguably worked for the last 12 years. It's one place that most people drive by and don't really know anything about, so I'm going to try to fill in the blanks. We are the only campground in that kind of river. Okay. For the last 12 seasons, we worked to not only build our business through customer service, cleanliness, and impeccable landscaping, and continually implementing best practices. 2014, our campers came to us after visiting the fort. That year, our average length of stay was 1.2 days. Now, our average length of stay is just short of 4 days. Those 3 additional days have a huge economic impact for Ticonderoga. It's shops, it's restaurants, the golf course, the gas stations, and more. How do we do that? By sticking to our business plan. We designed and developed what has been mentioned by many of your consultants you've hired over the last few decades, or the previous boards have, to become not just a campground, but a resort. We have people now that actually come to us instead of the fort and wonder what else is there to do. The change in our campers. Meditation, really. Each of our guests is actually given a concierge sheet, which I will not give you. Copy. Where we send people to restaurants, stores, and the such downtown. We help them orchestrate their activities. That's part of what has increased length of stay. We silently help build businesses that go on to receive the grants that we don't qualify for, since our address is not on Montcalm Street. We don't ask for any advertising fees from any businesses. We rarely receive a thank you. But we do it as a service to our clients. Each concierge, each conversation leads to increased dollars in Ticonderoga's other businesses, who hopefully, those businesses then spend more money locally, leading to an increased tax base and sales tax. Essex County, hopefully you know, is now considered the epicenter for tourism in the Adirondacks. Had the highest increase year over year last year at 11.9%, beating all other counties. In 2024, Brookwood had 6,500 camper nights and over 4,500 visitors to our country's store. We've become the go-to for those staying at Rogers Rock, Northern Lake George, and many more locals are actually stopping by, which they've never done before in their life. According to Roost, which is the regional office of sustainable tourism, Brookwood's economic impact to the community is $3.2 billion. All flowing from our guests, money flowing back into town and further into the Adirondacks as we send people within an hour of our campground. When a local multiplier is applied, really $4.3 million is generated as an economic impact. In 2024, Brookwood's clientele generated more than $136,000 in sales tax throughout the Adirondacks. When we succeed, those near us benefit from that success. When we develop, our local economy benefits. Whenever we have questions, we tend to search out experienced resources. We've got Matt at the chamber, we've got our infamous town clerk, and we have passcode officer Bill Ball, who actually led us to our on-page, I guess exhibit 2, would have been our APA permit. That APA permit allowed us to add a pool area, a barn with a patio, additional large oversized septic system, bathhouses, and permitted us to allow us to expand from 97 sites to 125. 189 pages of that application. If you print out the whole permitting process from application to the end. With having 4/5 of that current APA permitted project completed, we've been looking at adding those campsites because we need them. Additional campsites lead to more campers. We spend more money, increasing sales tax. In an effort to get ahead of a short development window, in our off-season, I hired a consultant to try to make sure all our ducks were in a row, especially getting our contractors ready. As part of that, he made a phone call to our current code officer, who stated to this guy that they had sent a letter to us years ago, after we had already started our APA, permitted building, of which he permitted a barn, permitted a pool, permitted a bathhouse, and permitted the septic system. Unbeknownst to us, he supposedly sent us a letter. That letter is EX 3. Now this letter, we never received. Do we go away sometimes in the winter? Sure. But this is dated in May. I would think if you were going to send an important letter out and you wanted proof of receipt, it should have been sent certified. They have no proof that it was actually sent, and I have, and Buffy definitely did not let me know if we received it. If I did, I would have been here talking to a different board, since it was dated 2023. Part of what's in here, we're going to go over a lot of things. So the zoning requirements in this code, that is actually EX 4, I mean, our property meets current land use of Ticonderoga. In doing my research, it sounds like the APA doesn't necessarily approve of Ticonderoga's land use plan, such as Hay has. But we need those, we satisfy that per the code. But the specific codes in here are outdated. Nobody knows when this was originally written. I had the language in it, and putting together the mobile home park with travel trailer parks. I would say it was probably done in the 1970s. And campgrounds have evolved tremendously, okay? The needs for more and more infrastructure, whether or not it's water, sewer, longer sites, clientele is much more demanding than we used to be. You know, it was okay to go to Rogers Rock. Now you go to Rogers Rock for the history, or if you're typically tenting or want to jam a camper at a site. If not, they send you to us. But now we don't have any room. So if you don't have a reservation, we are turning people away. Okay? So in this letter, he states, and it's talking about the code, that he goes over to the zoning requirements, and part of what's in that code, what I'm going to tell you is, we have been under, because it was one of the conversations we had with Bill Ball when we first got here, he referred us to the Department of Health. The campground code that is in here states that your code officer needs to come through and do the same things that the state Department of Health is already doing. And additional things are, you know, one, it's a time-related thing. I mean, we know the state needs a certain water test need to be done before they issue the permit that's on the front page. To follow with that, there's certain things that all need to be done, and all those things are appropriate, no matter whether it's water, sewer. They go over fire code issues, they go over sites, they go over placement of campers. Everything is covered by the Department of Health. And then they follow up with a spot inspection during our season. Your code is asking your code officer to do the exact same thing, which my time is valuable, and I'm sure his time is too. So there's a lot of redundancy there. Clinton County, our neighboring county, defers anything related to the campground to New York State Department of Health. I think that would be the wise thing to do. They know campgrounds, they're in and out of how many, I should have looked, how many campgrounds are in Essex County. I'm sure there's over 50. They're in and out of them all the time. Our code officer is not. Everybody that goes through your property is going to look at things differently subjectively. That makes things a lot more cumbersome. Part of this letter then goes on to state that RRV parks pre-existing, non-conforming, a variance and special use permit under that non-conforming condition shall be applied for as first steps of becoming compliant with that town zoning. Well, none of that has been enforced over the 12 years we've owned it, the 20 years prior that the wards have owned it, the almost 30 years that the Stottage has owned it for 3 years, and then the almost 30 years that the Smiths had owned it, nor the number of years that the McNeils owned it. David stated there would be a fee, because there's a fee mentioned in the code. He did not know what it was, referred me to Tanya. And Tanya said, Dave just talked to me about that last week. We haven't come up with anything. So we have a code that's never been enforced by the town. That's being redundant with the work that the New York State Department of Health is doing. So I've been involved in continuous quality improvement processes. This would be one of those things that needs to be modified. It doesn't matter to me if I have to pay a fee to Ticonderoga. I already pay a fee based on my number of campsites to the Department of Health. If, $200 is gonna make a difference for Ticonderoga, so be it. But to have somebody that has limited background in construction, limited background in fire code, and everything else related to the campground to come through and try to tell me what needs to be done, seems a little off, when we already have professionals that are getting paid the big bucks to do that for the state. Also in this code, the aspects of this code, one of the things is it says that a campsite, an individual campsite, needs to be 2,500 square foot. Okay? We were never offered the opportunity for a variance. Okay? The purpose of a variance is if something's a little off, it has nothing to do with the current owner, and this has been since 1950s when Brookwood first started by the McNeils. We should actually be grandfathered. Whether or not this code ever changes, any additional stuff that you want to do to try to force that going forward, I'm going to tell you this code is antiquated. The New York State of Health has a square footage requirement prior to 2001 of 1,500 square foot. In 2001, they changed it to 1,250 square foot. This current code says a campsite needs to be 2,500 feet. I told David that was a little ludicrous. I said, all our utilities are on the ground. Our water systems, our septic systems, our electrical systems, even our cabling to each individual site. David's, I think, in part with his limited background and experience, his answer to that is, if I have 3 sites, and this one's 1850, this one's 1900, this one's 2150, none of them meet. But the total, instead of 3 sites and having 3 sets of utilities act, one of them would have to disappear. In his estimate, as I went through and measured many of my campsites, which the smallest, which we don't have many of, was 1,850 square foot. The largest was 2,300 square foot. But again, code doesn't address anything such as setbacks for fire code or anything like that. They don't need to be 10 foot apart. It just needs to be 2,500 feet apart. But I would be losing 40% of my campsites. That's how, I guess, whatever mobile home park you had dealt with here in the hamlet and how that was handled, they had to eliminate some sites. So in David's mind, that's our only choice if we continue to develop. The whole campground would need to be reconfigured.
Have you responded to the letter from 2023?
I didn't get that until last week, so no, I have not responded. To me, it was never sent.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand what
Even
you
to
are.
our campers, if we have an issue with a camper and something needs to be taken care of, whether or not they're storing something they shouldn't do, they have a dog that all of a sudden is aggressive, we send out certified letters to them. We've done that because I used to be a landlord, and indeed, this is very much like being a landlord. You have an issue, you need proof that something was sent. The problem I have is this code that he's trying to follow is antiquated. It needs to be addressed somehow. I don't know that process for you to do that.
The
Me
code,
being the only campground here in Ticonderoga, that whole code is directed to me, not even 10 other campgrounds.
the code is what's current code. There's a process, of course, for changing it. But, you know, the town right now is going through a comp plan upgrade, and until that comprehensive plan is done, zoning issues will not be looked at. So that code is going to be the code that's going to be remaining for a while. That's why I asked if you had sent anything officially back regarding the letter that you got last week.
This is my official.
No, this is not. This is not your official response. Your official response will be written response back to the code officer addressing the areas that he is putting in his letter that you would either disagree with or ask for recommendations, or this board is not going to make a decision on whether we're changing the code tonight. This is a decision, this is a discussion you have to have written in response to what the code officer sent you. The fact that codes were not enforced by the town in the past is irrelevant. They're the codes, they can be enforced at any time as long as they're written down and approved by law.
Can we go to page, sure. Page 72 of that, letter Q.
Yep. I've seen it.
Yes, you have. It's blank.
Yep.
How can you enforce something that never was dated? There is no effective date of this law. That wouldn't hold up in court anywhere.
I couldn't address that one way or another, I'm not a lawyer. All I can tell you that it's in the code now. We do know that that space was blank. But what I'm saying to you that.
This is related to existing travel parks. I'm the only existing or new or anything travel park. What it states is, there needs to be a date in there of where things are going to become effective. There is no date in this code to have a starting point of where this would be effective.
I understand that. You know, I'll be the first one to admit that some of the zoning laws for the town need to be modified and brought up to the 21st century. And I don't know if this is a legal question, I don't know if there's a date missing. If by law it falls back to a certain period in time, I don't know what the answer to that would be.
No, it just means that for the applicant's benefit, that the time to seek compliance on that, under that section would be argued between the applicant and the planning and zoning board,
Yeah,
not the town board.
right. Exactly.
I mean, that from a legal standpoint, the applicant has a right to appeal Dave's determination to the planning and zoning board or
Right.
apply for the variances.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's what
And
that's what I'm suggesting you do, is exactly that in response to the letter from 2023. Because it's the planning and zoning board that controls this aspect along with enforcement by the code enforcement office.
So I need to go to David, not the safety meeting. What's the safety meeting for?
The public safety meeting, you can go to that, but that's not the process I think you want. Huh?
That's just the committee of this board.
Correct. I think your best bet is to address what he said in his 2023 letter, and then come back and readdress, well, I don't think it's like this because of the following, and try to come down to some solution with code enforcement and the planning and zoning board. If you need a variance, then there's a process, obviously you know that, after the permitting process, there's the variance process to get in front of the planning and zoning board, so I think that's what you need to do. Like I said, I agree that some of the zoning laws, I've already have a list of things that need to be changed or looked at, but until we have a comp plan, there's
Well,
no sense in doing that.
so this has a huge economic impact.
I understand that.
And that's what a variance is for, on that side. It also change dramatically the valuation of my property if I have to remove 40% of my campsite.
No, I don't, I understand, I agree, I don't think that's an unreasonable risk, yeah, I totally agree. No, I want to see that happen.
I would have thought it would have been put in here as a suggestion versus a totally revamping of my campground.
Well,
That variance would
I
have
mean,
been appropriate.
court enforcement officer's going to cite what he sees in, that's, you know, in accordance with the law. He's not going to suggest things. He's going to say something meets or is not compliant or not compliant.
Yeah, Dave doesn't have any authority to recommend a variance or say a variance is a good idea or a bad idea. He has absolutely no authority to do that. All he can say is what Mark said, is what the code says, and then, as I just read the letter here, you know, the applicant has the ability to apply for site plan and a variance, and I think, you know, that's why you have the planning and zoning.
Yeah, you put in for the permit process, he comes back and says yes, yes, no, no, and then you go in front of the planning and zoning board and seek variance to certain things that require, that you, in your mind, require a variance. I mean, there's a process that just has to be followed. Is it a comfortable process? No, what process is, but it's a process.
So from this letter, the other thing that really wasn't clear is, since we already did 4/5 of our permitted APA project before this letter was ever supposedly written, what about the 125 sites that we've already been permitted for by the APA?
Well, the APA,
What is he talking about?
the APA and the DOH do not set town law.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. But he would have said at that time, if he was following this code, that when we put in that first septic system as part of this project, hey, you're gonna have to do this. We could have addressed it then. Then when he issued the permit for the barn, which was part of this project, he could have said, you're gonna have to do this because you never did it with the septic. When we put the pool in, he never
No.
said a thing.
I get that. There's no sense in us talking about what was said or not said back then. You are where you are right here. If you want to go forward, there's a process to go forward. And that process is not going back and saying you should have said this or you shouldn't have said that.
Well, I will say, inexperience costs me, and it's gonna cost this town if something doesn't happen to this code.
Okay? Thank you for the information. That was pretty concise. Okay.
How long does he have to take to come in compliance? I mean, did he keep everything the way it is for like 2 years? There's no time.
It's a self-actual limitation.
So he has time to
No,
address
no, well, there's 60 days to appeal, a determination like that, that went a couple years ago. But
Okay, let's go on to other business here. Go into committees and we'll start with airports.
We had our meeting on August 5th. Had a real full house, we were in good shape. Tanya addressed the committee as to any changes in the airport tie down and landing fees. It's time to get the cards printed. The committee reviewed our current charges and felt they were in line with our needs in the area, so no changes were made. Fuel sales, we sold 3,315 gallons for the month of July. That's $12,574 year to date. And our price is steady at $5.15 a gallon. We're still the cheapest in the area.
You try.
New hangar, Tim Woods reported everything was close to being signed by the lawyers. He had questions about the Miller event, referred to the building code, shouldn't be any problem there. Though I did read the latest email, so. Porta John to airport was moved inside the fence to the fuel farm area. Keith Dahlbeck requested that a Porta John be put back outside the fence for people who walk and ride bikes in the area. Did we just pass this on to the board, then we're going to discuss that?
So let's talk about that. Okay, it is not the town's job to put restrooms throughout the town of Ticonderoga. It just so happens that the Porta John for the airport was outside the fence. The reason it was there at all was for the use of pilots. It was moved inside the fence for a couple of reasons. One, because it was being overused by people who were not pilots, and we had to clean it out. The other was because it was more convenient for the pilots to get out of their aircraft, use the porta-john right there while they're fueling and when they're, parking their aircraft. And I heard what Keith said. I don't agree with him that there needs to be a porta-john outside of the fence just because it happens to be a popular walking area. Using that kind of logic, people will be asking us to put a porta-john in the park, in Carrion Park, up near the hospital, out near Walmart. It's just not our responsibility to provide public restrooms for them. And I don't know how you all feel, but I'm not in favor of moving the porta-john outside the fence again, or adding a second one at $175 a month outside of the fence.
It's not a park.
It's not a park. It's there for a purpose.
So
Take that as an
that's all right. So if he comes to the next meeting, which I will not yet, by the way, because of county meetings, after a holiday,
I'll pass it on.
respectfully say it's been discussed, and it's just not our job to report John's restrooms throughout the town of Ticonderoga.
There's trees.
Can't make it really
Continuing on, Brian reported that he's keeping the lighting system up for repair. Runway north end tree removal, Chris Dostie, the Savamo mill manager, needs a copy of the survey. Alan was going to take care of that, give it to him. Alan knows that the fuel farm, that the ground run ballards have been crushed stones and are getting brought onto the fuel pad, which the airplanes don't like that area. So I got to go talk to highway superintendent about what we can put there, put a little blacktop in there or something to stop that. When they drag the fuel lines across, the stones in there, airplanes don't like running over stones.
I've got, Alan and I talked about, I got some concrete, we're gonna try to,
Oh, cool.
some old sidewalks, you know.
They're not big areas.
No, that's,
Yeah,
it's, no.
but I can understand
He
the
was up there the other
situation.
day and I went down and looked and I got some, so.
Okay. Airport mowing, airport volunteers have been mowing around the lights, fuel farm, hangars being done by committee members and volunteers. Taxiway and runway needs to be mowed. I went over and talked to Sal and asked him if he could put down some sort of monthly
Yeah.
to do the taxiway inside
Okay, good.
and not hit the lights and all that kind of good stuff. He said he'd give it to John and take care of it. But John Porter's the one that usually mows it and the one that does a good job. So we'll take care of that. John Hanna Memorial, we received over $1,000 for this. Committee agreed there should be a park bench with a plaque installed in his memory. So I'm in the process of trying to find a bench.
Okay, that's great.
The plaque, and I'm trying to figure out, Tanya was supposed to give me, if she could, figure out a date, how many years he served on that committee.
Oh, I had that for you that
Long
way.
time.
Oh, okay, we'll get it. Yeah, that was a long time. And just, I'll bring this up again before that, but memorial service for John will be at the Hay Community Center on Saturday, September 27th at 1 p.m. All are encouraged to attend.
What time? 27th, what time?
27th of September at 1 p.m. I'll bring it up next board meeting too.
For the next committee meeting, which I will not yet, I received an email from Tim, and I responded. You were CC'd.
Yeah, I got it.
I think Ash was on it as well. We are working on the response to the response, but we can't keep doing this forever. It is now on a lower priority because we have other more important things to do that involve public safety before we start going round for on a hangar lease, which frankly, in my opinion, should have been signed immediately because it's not rocket science.
I agree.
And it's been signed twice by the previous owners, so this is on them for dragging this out. We want to get this done. The airport's important. I think it's important to increase hangar space whenever we can, both to improve the airport and to improve the economic viability of the town. But there's got to be a limit to how many times we have to go through this lease.
He needs to talk to his lawyer.
Well, so subsequent to that, I just haven't gotten it forward them, but they're actually still sitting in my inbox. Yesterday, I got an email from him directly to me without copying his attorney. Obviously, I did not respond to that because ethically I can't communicate with somebody who's represented by an attorney. And then this morning, I did receive an email from the attorney with an attachment. I think it's a markup.
Okay.
Yeah, markup.
What you asked for?
Yeah, I told her I would get back to her sometime next week, so. The message apparently was received, however you guys relayed it.
You know the priority, you know where to slip it in.
Yeah, we got
opportunity. I will be honest, I didn't show you what I sent, but I was pretty blunt. So,
The settlement stuff, things other things we got.
yeah, that's just.
Yeah, this is just dragging out.
And as we finish one priority, another jumps up, so when something like this tries to slip back in again, it's like, I'm sorry, you go down the list a little bit, so. All right, thanks. Building grounds, parks, rec.
Yeah, make them say.
Well, the only thing I got, they were putting fire escape in the highway and highway, we're finally getting the door in it to the, move over that door to highway garage. On my end.
Progress.
Little play.
I guess it's my turn.
You're up.
And at our meeting, we had a lot of talk about our town buildings. For example, the 1888 building needs a lot of work. And an engineering study should be done and priorities set for the work to be needed.
So if I can just jump in there real quick.
You got good news?
No, I never have good news. But since I'm on the Heritage Museum Board, we had this discussion at our last meeting, I keep trying to reiterate to them, this is town property. So they need to get an engineering study stamped by a professional engineer in New York State that says, these are all the things that should be done to the museum, this is the estimated costs, so that the town, am I stealing your thunder?
Well, I got a sentence.
So the town can take that, put it out for bid, get bids, and then it's up to the museum to find the money, grant, donations, whatever, to do that. I keep telling them that, that's
That's
the
step
process.
We got two already, two engineers. It's just, we need three.
Procurement depends upon the amount of money involved. I think
This is-
when we were talking originally, I think one of the people said it was around $7,000 or $8,000.
This is 7,200.
So I think if we had three proposals come in and say, this is what I can do it for, we would choose one of them, and then they would do the study, we pay them, we put it out for bid. So, anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Well, no, that's okay, I don't have to read that sentence. And I think the drainage issues are the ones that people think need to be taken care of first.
Yeah.
And there's other things that they would like to see done, which is replacement windows and a heating system. And NRDC is already looking for grants to help fund such improvements. The community building, it will be 100 years old next year, and its appearance needs help. There is black discoloration all around the building's upper half, which should be removed. The cupola needs painting. Windows do not work properly and contribute to heat loss in the building. Its heating system is old and in danger of failing. It is hoped that the discoloration can be addressed in the near future. And because both of these buildings are on the National Historic Registry, any work on the building exterior should be approved by the New York State Historic Preservation Office. Better know the ship up. It was also discussed that maybe the Alfondre report, which was the Bible for a long time, should be updated. And repairs on the 1880 building are probably the ones that need to be done first. That's Parks and Recs. And concern was also expressed about the condition of the Agway building and the antique store next to the KFC building. Hooray that something has been done to the Agway building, and since this, you notice they have put plywood up, and it looks much better. And even the holes on the side of the building have been taped up, so to speak. It's privately owned, and who knows what they're going to do with it. 4th of July, the activities in the park and the parade went very smoothly. Parking and traffic after the fireworks is certainly always an issue. More help is needed in directing traffic. Although our police officers were on duty and the county sheriff's officers were present, it was not enough. This should be addressed for 2026. Better said than done.
The need for our police.
No, it was a mess. We were down there. People were walking down the middle of the road, and it was crazy on Montcalm Street. Although parking is prohibited in Recreation Park during the fireworks across the Kissing Bridge, cars were parked right next to the Kissing Bridge and had to be removed before the fireworks could start. This is a safety issue, and better blockage of this park's entrance should be taken into consideration and put in place for next year. Black Point Beach, Tanya noted that she made a trip out to the beach at night one time and noticed there's no light there. And the committee agreed that a street light should be installed on the pole. Was there only one pole to put the light on? Is there only one pole at the beach that we can put the light on?
There's only one decent pole in the
The
middle of the
one in,
parking lot.
okay, the one in the apartment. And the only cost to the town would be the monthly charge for electricity because the pole is already there. And Tanya will make contact with National Grid, she's probably already done it. She also noted that many streetlights around town need replacement, and she has a list of those, and hopefully the appropriate people will take care of it. Tennis and pickleball, it's a big deal right now. We have a dynamo wanting to help improve our pickleball tennis courts, and her name is Patty Hogan. As a matter of fact, on Monday night, she had a little clinic for interested women. She must have had 25 people there, 25 women, playing pickleball in all that heat. And I have to say, what's been done with the courts already, Dave, it looks so much better just with, and they had volunteers that painted the lines, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It really does. And so the work on that continues. She hasn't been, Patty has not, she's operating a lot on grant money, and I'm also sharing some of the Parks and Rec fund with her to get things going. She hasn't gotten any bids for repainting and sealing the courts. And that's a biggie. The cost of the resurfacing was shared by NRDC, the grant that they received in the Parks and Recreation budget. And she's still working on a final budget to see what is still needed. These court improvements are very expensive but necessary considering the number of people who are now playing pickleball. All you have to do is drive by the Armory on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and see that the parking lot is full. And they're waiting to play. They're very polite people. And it's not only here, it's a national phenomenon that's going on. And I'm still investigating the budget to make sure there might be some extra money that we could put towards the improvement. Actually, Becky and I just found another $5,000 that we could give them, so, towards the project. 2026 budget considerations, the following should be considered for purchase during, in the 2026 budget. We need benches, we need more trash cans in Recreation Park, and those are the basic things we need right now. And more consideration will be constructing a new west side and pedestrian-safe entrance to Bicentennial Park. Grant money could also be sought to repave many sections of the walking trail in Recreation Park. So that's it. Our meeting is Tuesday at 8:30.
Okay, thanks.
The goal that I had this year was actually working on the entrance to the park, but when the pickleball came up and some of the other things, they took priority, so hopefully we can make a safer entrance.
Okay, thank you. Economic Development Committee met on July 16th. The minutes are attached. Our next meeting is on August 20th. Nothing significant to report. It's all in the minutes. So we'll move on to Highway Transportation.
Okay, we can, excuse me, we met on the 29th, minutes are attached to also. And I already said we're doing the garage door over. That's it.
And sidewalks coming up on Amherst. That's a lot of sidewalk.
We're doing 700 feet.
That's a lot.
We took out 700 feet, and they're gonna pour like 300 or 400 tomorrow. And they're gonna pour that wall at the garage at the same time, so.
The company that you contract with is very efficient, I have to say.
That concrete, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been really good.
They come in
Oh,
and
God,
appropriate.
they're great.
I'm impressed. I'm right there at Action Central. It's right across the street from me.
They've been doing work in.
They called up and complained about your bottom.
It was the binoculars they didn't like.
Okay. Municipal facility.
That's me. We didn't need.
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Public safety, public safety.
Okay, nothing, we met on the 29th, and minutes are attached. So
Public Works met also on the 29th, next meeting's on the 26th of this month. I have some resolutions here. First is a resolution to close account number 51-005-25550, which is Avalanche Properties. Set the balance to $0 retroactive to the third quarter billing as it has been combined with the adjoining lot. Someone wants to move that?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to correct account number 51-00159-200 Avalanche Properties to 4 EDU water, 4 EDU sewer, and 16 vacant lot fees of 0.10 EDU water and sewer. Billing will now show a total of 5.6 EDU water and 5.6 EDU sewer retroactive to the third quarter billing.
So moved.
Where is it, these properties?
Avalanche is,
It's Trevor, okay. I knew the name was familiar.
Any other questions on that?
Tom first, and I didn't hear a second.
Second.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution to increase account number 51-00510-300, 60 Skylar Street to 2 EDU water, 2 EDU sewer, as is listed now as a two-family dwelling in the tax roll.
I'll move it.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to correct the balance on account number 51-00161-200 Meyer Street to $0, as they are exempt from utility billing.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to close account number 51-00161-20029 Myers as it owned by Essex County Land Bank, and they are exempt from utility billing.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution to increase account number 51-00512-300 Defiance Street, 2 EDU water, 2 EDU sewer, as their department, their preferred tax roll.
I'll move it.
Did you get that?
Yep.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to remove the debt service fee from Shore Airport Road Water District SW09 users and refund those users the debt fees they have paid to date for 2025. Bond will be paid off from the user funds.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And this one is, I want to get this in the record. Resolution to modify the language in the quarterly drinking water warning for Chilson Eagle Lake water users letter to reflect the current status for the benefit of public awareness. I'll talk about this once we move it in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. I think it's important that we put this on the record because we're now at a point where we are making some progress on Chilson Eagle Lake water. And the latest letter gives an August 2025 update that I'd like to read for the record. And it says, the town continues the process of identifying lawful drinking water sources for the Chilson and Eagle Lake drinking water users. Sites have been identified and the hydrogeologist is continuing its review of the sites. It is expected that test wells will be drilling in the coming months. The results will then form the basis for review and consideration by the town board and the public. While the current June 2025 deadline has not yet been formally extended in U.S. District Court, the town has been advised by the EPA that the EPA will not pursue enforcement actions against the town at this time, given the town's good faith efforts to pursue lawful and affordable drinking water alternatives. The town board continues its efforts to find good, safe, and affordable sources of drinking water for the Chilson and Eagle Lake drinking water users. So this is what's in addition to the letter that will be going out to those users. We've said for a long time now to those out-of-district users that we have a moral obligation. We feel it's important to get them water, and we'll exercise every option that's available to us. And we've gone through several options. We've pivoted several times in order to get to where we are now. And this is the first time it's really looked like it's something of a promising solution. So again, I wanted this in the record so that people, whoever reads our minutes, can see this. Okay. And with that, any other questions or comments on that?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Do you want to say anything? Okay, Human Services, Youth, do we have anything?
No, we did not meet, but I do know we're in the process of, not really time mostly, is in the process of registering kids for the fall soccer program.
There's a report in there that he.
Does he?
looked it up.
Okay.
I want to look at it and, yeah.
And we figured out where they're going, my hope was to get all the soccer practices over in Rec Park, but because there's a football program going on, the plan sort of went awry. So anyways, some of the kids will be practicing where the farmer's market is, some will be down in Bicentennial Park, and hopefully somebody will be the older kids will be out of the school because they've got the right size field for that. I don't know where to find it yet, so I'm not finding any certain time. But he had very, very good attendance for the summer program. I think he had at least 50 kids a day, and I think he had 100 children registered.
That's what I think you said.
I think they've been able to go to the beach every time they planned to, which was 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Did that get changed Monday?
No, but there were 2 days that they could not.
Only 2 days they did not go.
Mhm.
And so that's good news. They were down in the park, they've been to the fort, they went to the Festival Guild program, so the kids have had a very varied program. Unfortunately, they've also had some very hot weather.
Okay, seniors?
The seniors met on July 30th. The minutes are attached. It was a bit of a light meeting. There was not a guest speaker this time, leaving more ice cream at the end for me, which was great. But there is just a couple of things. I checked a couple of weeks ago, and the painting has not been done yet for the handicap spot when I checked a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to check with Sal just to see if we can get a date for that. And then the seniors are more than happy to throw up a fence around the parking spot if they have a date to ensure that Sal can get a clean spot. So that nobody parks there. For that, the seniors will be, if they haven't done already, will be submitting their budget. Now that we're getting into budget season, so that should either have been sent in or will be sent in. The seniors do, and I don't know or think people appreciate this as much, but the seniors do one hell of a job keeping track of their finances. They really do. It's always posted for everybody to be able to see, so you can see what gets spent, what gets brought in. It's really phenomenal accounting work that they do. So like I said, it's either incoming or has already hit the desk. The other thing is, just to piggyback on Joyce, the ladies down there are absolutely loving pickleball. It's starting to get brought up at every single meeting on how much they enjoy pickleball. So they're having a really good time, they're having a good time learning, and the ones that are proficient are having a really good time teaching. So it's become a really big thing for them down there, and it's to the point now where who knows, maybe we'll have to build another court in the future.
That's scary.
Where's your money?
For 10 years.
It's a good article in the paper.
Yeah, about Raymond, yes, yeah.
So it's,
And Patty has been providing, that's what they were doing Monday night, is giving some lessons to beginners, showing them how the game is played and so on and so forth. They have some veterans who are really willing to share their talents with other people, so more seniors will be learning.
so the next meeting will be the last Wednesday of the month, August 27th.
Okay. Glad they're good with finances. I sent them an email asking for their budget request for 2026, so next time you see them, you can remind them.
Yeah, I can swing by my next.
So, I believe I told them I'd like it by the 18th of the month.
Yeah, that's what they said at the meeting,
Okay.
that they were going to send it out. So
All right, so they saw my email.
Okay.
Probably in the middle.
That's
Excellent. Well, that's my line. Your check is in the mail. I don't have anything on contract negotiations, but our labor relations attorney is going to be meeting with all of us before, I think, the next board meeting. I'll send you out a notice, but so we'll all be showing up a little earlier so that we can, it's going to give you the strategy, kind of like what we did 3 years ago, and how it's gonna move forward.
I believe 3 years.
There's nothing like a budget year and contract negotiation year all at once. It's a lot
All
of
three,
fun.
correct? All three groups?
All three contracts. Okay, I know you've been waiting all month for this, so here's the cable announcements. I know you haven't been sleeping right, I'm wondering, oh, what are they
I
gonna
actually
be?
have cable.
What are they gonna be next month? Okay, so, dear municipal official, Spectrum Northeast was recently notified that HBO Family, Thriller Max, Movie Max, and Outer Max are ceasing service on or after August 15th. This is out of their control. I don't even get these channels. And then Spectrum Northeast is contractually required to add Big Ten Network to Spectrum TV Select and Spectrum TV Select signature packages on the channel lineup serving your communities. So, you know, you're already anticipating what's coming next month, but I don't know yet, so. All right. Some more resolutions here. I have this large one here. This is a resolution authorizing the creation of new accounts. I'm not going to go over all these, but this is for capital project H71, which is the creation of a new capital project to track our wastewater treatment plant upgrade. This is a contract that Wright Pierce will be working on. And the second part of this is the creation of a line item for water expenses for the refunding of the overpayment of the district user debt payments that I just talked about earlier. So if anyone wants to move that, I'd quickly.
I'll move
Get that?
I did.
I knew you would. All in favor?
it.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution to offer employment to Aiden Labarge as highway motor equipment operator full-time with benefits at the rate of $23.44 an hour.
I'll move it.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution to offer employment as part-time on-call assistant recreation supervisor with a rate of $17.56 an hour, no benefits to Alexis Town.
I'll move it.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A resolution to offer employment to Mary McCulloch as activities attendant at the rate of $15.50 an hour, no benefits.
I'll move that one.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next one, big one. Dave, did you ask me to read each one of these lines in here? I know who to beat up and all. Resolution authorizing the following budget transfers. The first is to fund under budgeted general accounts and increase costs from contingency in the A fund. Balance after that transfer is $54,800.80. The next is to transfer funds for the copier overpayments to the appropriate expense lines, and that's shown there. Next is to transfer funds from escrow account to the appropriate expense line. Next is to transfer grant revenue received to the appropriate expense line for DWI. The next is to fund under budgeted general account and increase costs from contingency in highway, and the balance after that transfer is $6,225. The next is to transfer funds until reimbursement is received in highway for raw materials, and the amount shown there. Then to fund under budgeted general accounts and increase costs from contingency for sewer. Balance after that transfer is $9,076.34. And then to transfer sewer tap fees received to the appropriate expense line, not shown there. And fund under budgeted general accounts and increase costs from contingency for water. The balance after that transfer is $14,099.79. And then finally, transfer water tap fees received to the appropriate expense line, shown there in that amount. So who's brave enough?
I'll move it.
There you go.
I'll second.
Discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution authorizing the following budget adjustments. This is to fund under budgeted or unbudgeted accounts and increase costs by the respective fund balances, and amounts shown there for the line items shown there.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is a resolution authorizing the following interfund transfer to transfer funds from general to Eagle Lake Water Project. The amount shown there.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Someday we'll get rid of this. A resolution authorizing the following interfund loans versus transfer funds from general to airport apron expansion project until funding is received, and then to transfer funds from central water to water meter project until funding is received, and then shown. Transfer funds from general to wastewater treatment plant ventilation phosphorus collection project until funding is received, not shown there.
I'll move it.
Wait, I've got one more. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Transfer funds from sewer to wastewater treatment plant upgrade project until funding is received, not shown there. Go for it.
Okay, I'll move it.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, a resolution to approve the July abstract.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? A resolution to accept the July supervisor's report is submitted.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution to rescind resolution number 290-2025 from the July 24th, 2025 Town Board Financial Meeting, authorizing the closure of Montcalm Street on August 22, 2025 for downtown summer nights from the hours of 4 to 9. The event has been canceled.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A resolution to adopt the order calling for a public hearing on September 11, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Community Building, 132 Montcalm Street, Ticonderoga, New York, on the question of increasing and improving the facilities of the sewer district numbers 2 through 9, 11, and 12. Further resolved to authorize and direct the town clerk to cause a copy of the notice of public hearing hereinafter provided to be published once in the official newspaper designated for this purpose, and also to cause a copy thereof to be posted on the signboard of the town.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, we're going to get into something similar to this soon. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute an agreement between the town of Ticonderoga and Wright Pierce Engineering Consultants, PC, for wastewater treatment and collection system improvements project, subject to review by the town attorney.
I'll move it.
Second.
Discussion, and I believe you're good on all that, we've reviewed it. Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution to accept the minutes of the July 10, 2025 regular town board meeting and the July 24, 2025 finance meeting.
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to pay the abstract.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution to accept the supervisor's report as submitted.
I'll move it.
Second.
Jeez, I almost can't keep up.
I'm sorry, I'll slow down. Resolution.
You're fine.
to-
Fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Do I think it happened quick?
Now we're all ears.
Tanya, I do have. Did we miss
Can't write
anything?
that fast.
Those easements, I don't know, we're talking about them, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if you have somebody on your computer that wanted to know about them.
I don't have anyone on here.
None is Sherry.
Oh, Sherry's here.
Oh,
Sorry, Sherry. Sherry, did you want to talk about the easements at all?
I'm watching for the S to go.
Yeah, I hate to wake you up, but
yeah, I don't know what you want to do with that. I sent you an email about something that went in front of the planning board that should have been.
There's nothing for the board to do until somebody asks for help.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
just meant to wait. That was it.
We can dump days next week, the 21st
Okay.
of August, free dump day. And seniors and qualified disabled can still continue to call because we're actually going to do their pickup the week after.
Had one resident who contacted me that was a little confused by the wording.
Yeah.
I guess you've heard about that.
I have heard about that several times because I found out that it's for property owners.
Yeah.
This year we will do residents, but next year we are talking about doing a card for property owners in their tax bills in order for them at their own leisure to come to the transfer station for one free dump day. That would be property owners. That's what we've discussed. I'm gonna go to the highway meeting again this month to see if that's still what the plan is, because I gotta get them ordered in order to get them the tax bills.
Okay, good.
Seems fair.
Are you referencing property owner as a general term or as the specific you own the property?
Right.
The
You
latter.
own the property.
Okay,
You are the taxpayer on that property.
okay, so,
So
Renters will have to
so
get in touch
renters
with
will
their
be,
their landlords in order to participate in it. I would hope the property owners or landlords would want to get with their tenants to get rid of anything they have hanging around their properties.
Does it have to be the property owner on the thing, or can the family do it? Like
No,
if an elderly person, can their son come get it, take it to the dump, or?
well, we'll discuss that in
Yeah.
a way, but probably.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of people that can't actually go.
Yep. There's gonna be a card set in there.
But I mean, some of
If
the
they have
family
that
could take
card.
the card, yeah.
Matt, we're gonna have an executive session, but did you have anything for open session? Okay, the other only thing I had left for discussion was about the police station bids. We've had 2. We have not awarded yet, but what we have done is contacted the engineer who did the engineering study for us and asked him to review those and provide a recommendation to the board. I'm hoping that we can do this and get this done. So we're going to award the bid on maybe finance meeting, probably at our next opportunity. Should take, you should be able to turn those around in 2 weeks. All right, at this time, I'd like someone.
Avoiding the airport porta potty, we answered the rest.
Yeah, we already,
Yeah,
already did that one.
let's go. No
Flush
start.
that
That's very good.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely,
Thank
yeah.
you for your prompt work on whoever did it to get the senior bus available. My husband was
It was
very much,
last Friday.
but I have to say,
What
they're-
day? I was luckily on leave.
it
I
is,
got all the emails though.
well, it is a wonderful service we provide, so thank
was
you
the
for
one
the one who did it.
Yeah,
Maureen or whatever her name was.
Maureen at the county, no, I can't remember her name. She's great, she's fantastic.
Yeah. Nice looking bus too.
Yeah. And Wayne loves the bus, he really wants us to get that bus, but we have to build a building to put it in.
Yeah. Wayne loves the job.
He does, really enjoys
does.
the job. He was
It's wonderful to
thanking me
watch.
yet again that we
Yeah.
gave him the job.
Yeah.
All of them are done.
Okay, I'd like a motion a resolution to enter executive session to discuss matters of current. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I'm
You have
sorry.
two people sitting.
I'm sorry. Public comment, did you have anything for us?
Look back there at the desk.
Either one of you?
No, but maybe, Tanya, did you get the letter from the kids about their road, about the flooding?
That has to,
Who does that go to?
What was that?
Woody Lane?
there was it wasn't a claim, it was just a letter put in and pictures sent in, and it's been sent to the insurance company and we'll get.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
We should get some response back from the insurance company. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sent to them.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
No, that's it. No,
Everything
actually, I was
challenge-
coming anyway.
Everything more challenging?
Give me a moment. No, just kidding.
All right, we're out of public comment.
I'm good. I was coming to the meeting anyhow, but as long as I was here, I just figured I'd ask.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
See you, Brenda.
Bye. Bye.
All right, I'd like a motion to order a resolution to enter an executive session to discuss matters of current litigation.
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, we are now in executive session. 19:30.